Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the CTKS method. A lot of people ask the question, is Bitcoin going up or down? To answer that question, you cannot just look at Bitcoin's chart. This may be perplexing because this is what most people do. But it's not the way to do it. All charts are intercorrelated and interconnected. Here we're looking at junk bonds, which is a very important measure of risk-on or risk-off behavior inside the stock market. In the past trading session, we saw something really interesting, a sign of strength creeping back into junk bonds. When we saw that last time, that sign of strength translated through to a very large movement in Bitcoin, down from around the 60,600 mark up to around that 68. Now, what does this mean? It means that if we get a flow-through effect with junk bonds, we're looking great across the main markets and also crypto. One thing to also keep in mind, when we look at the S&P 500, we've seen a degree of strength just come in the past couple of days, especially the last day. Absolutely, we had a sell-off, but you can see that improvement in junk bonds is actually pushing risk-on behavior inside the markets. Now, what happens if the S&P 500 comes up a little bit and retraces and makes its way down? That would be reflected by DXY strength, US 2-year, US 10-year strength, dollar yen strength, and euro dollar weakness, Aussie dollar weakness. There are so many things that you actually need to look at to understand if the markets are going up or down. Unfortunately, this typically takes decades inside financial markets to actually understand. One thing to pay very close attention to inside the crypto market is Tesla. Tesla junk bonds. The major market indices are all really important. Unfortunately, people don't think this is the case because they just look at the crypto market and think it's a self-contained market. Unfortunately, there's no such thing. Now, what do we notice here with Tesla? There is an absolute spike up. That is very good for Bitcoin. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back, CTKS family. Many longtime community members will know that we keep our eye on the Russell 2000. It throws really important signals on Bitcoin's health, and right now we're seeing junk bonds, and you just think about junk bonds and Tesla. Also, the dollar is starting to curl over, the euro dollar is starting to put in a bit of a buy arc. We could be seeing a massive rally unfold over the coming weeks. Right at a time when you think that the rug is getting pulled underneath the crypto market. But please be aware, institutional perspectives on the market are very, very different from retail. On the monthly basis, Bitcoin is actually doing a bit of a breakout. We've seen a retracement so far in the past 24 hours, but this is pretty normal. You get up and down price action all the time. A lot of people say only up, but that's not ever been proven through actual price history. Price history is all up and down. You can see it on any price chart that you look at. If people say only up or only down, unfortunately, they don't understand how financial markets work. Please do not get sucked in to that kind of narrative. The key for us to know what is going on inside Bitcoin's structure, we've got a bit of an understanding from junk bonds, but we must understand where the structural levels are in terms of level 1 and level 2 standard certification. We can see that we're under a structural resistance level just below 68,300. We've been caught by a few structural levels, and the thing to understand, there's not just one structural level inside a price chart. That would be insane. There's multiple, and they're different strengths. We can see around the 60,060 mark, there is structural support there. So just think about it, where Bitcoin's price is at the recording of this video. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 structural support levels, and only one structural resistance level above Bitcoin. If you're thinking that an imminent sell-off is on the cards, well, I wouldn't get too fussed about that right at this point of time. Personally, I'm treating each retracement as just an opportunity to get in at a better buy price. As you get more and more used to trading and investing, you'll just understand that up and down price action is really normal. It's nothing to be concerned about or afraid of. You just need to have a strategy where you can deal with price momentum either to the upside or to the downside or inside consolidation. The best way to do that is to understand where the structural levels are actually on the chart that you're looking at, and what they represent as well is really quite important. We can see that we actually lost total structural support, many levels. We've been caught on these support levels, but above us is a lot of structural resistance. Now, what does this particularly mean? It means that the smart money knows how the markets are heading right now. With junk bonds coming up, if it continues to do so and the VIX doesn't derail it, we would expect to break out of all of this resistance and move upwards. If the VIX starts to spike upwards and the yields follow it, and the DXY also does, we would expect to come down at least to this $2.23 trillion level. In order to understand how a specific price chart will go, you must look at the Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 charts. They're all available inside the cheat sheet, which is available free of charge from CTKSmethod.org. If you just scroll down the page to the cheat sheet, you can download it here, and it is superb. If you know how to track the cheat sheet, you are literally made. It takes literally decades and decades to understand Rule 448. Your chart, the chart that you put money into, is moved. That is, its price is moved by other charts. For example, if you're going into Solana or MicroStrategy or Tesla and the VIX starts to spike up, guess what? All of those charts are going to go down. And you can think about the VIX and junk bonds tending to move in opposite directions, and you'll see that inside the cheat sheet. Does it matter? Do you really have to look at other charts? Nobody else tells you anything like this. I think that's because largely people take a long time to understand these things, and I've been inside financial markets for a very long time. And also, a lot of people who know just simply don't want to share it as well. But I would like to pay it forward. So when you look at your chart, please make sure that you're looking at the cheat sheet. And there's another thing that I'd really like you to focus on. That is, you need a very positive attitude to succeed, not just in life, but especially inside financial markets. There are many levels of trader, and of course investors as well. When you are dedicated and committed, when you win or learn and don't blame yourself or others for the loss, what you're effectively doing is focusing on your learning. The truth is, inside the market, you must pay the tuition fee. The tuition fee, unfortunately, is to make losses. That may sound like a pretty radical thing. I know a lot of people say, oh, try this strategy, it works every time, you'll never make a loss. That is a lot of rubbish, because inside the markets are always fluctuating. Your greatest risk, your greatest problem is actually yourself. It's your emotions. Therefore, if you make a loss, that is to be expected, and always just say to yourself, I win or learn and never blame, and that you are dedicated and committed. If you find that a loss is impacting your self-esteem, for example, you make a loss, your money actually goes down because you bank it, and your self-esteem goes down at the same time, that's not what it's about. The market doesn't know you. It is not personal. That's why inside the creed, I always say, please start small and then scale up. The reason that you start small is that your emotions will get the better of you, no question about it. It takes a long time to be able to buy on red and to sell on green, because we're just motivated by fear when we begin trading and investing. But if you know the universe wants you to succeed, it's a completely different aspect on life. And it does. And also, I do too, and Kate does as well. We want to see you just have the most beautiful life that you can possibly have. The way you get that is to focus on your knowledge and focus on your emotional control. Always know that every single day, life and opportunities reset, and you are absolutely worthy of every success in this life, but you must work for it. It will not be handed to you. I would really love, across the weekend, to talk about the concept of fear inside financial markets, especially if you're just starting off. If you're just starting off, how much fear do you feel when you place a buy order? Because you would just naturally assume that you're buying at the bottom and it can go only up. And then, with that strategy in mind, it may go up a little. And what happens if it reverses on you? How do you feel then? What do you do? We have an incredibly supportive community. I would like to talk about these issues. I think it will really help people out. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.